Ready? Yeah? Okay. Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video here on my channel. I'm so sorry this is a day late, but the times and things have been, I'm sorry if I'm distracted. I have my dog with me. Don't do that. Thank you. So this week has been a little bit up and down and I couldn't get a video out to you for yesterday, so unfortunately it was up a day late. But nonetheless there is a video, and today we are doing the second instalment of the Disney Countdown, and this is my top 5 things to do in Disneyland Paris. I've been to Disneyland Paris 6 times now and I love it so much. It's my home away from home. I know it like the back of my hand, and I really wanted to share my favourite things that I like to do when I'm there. Especially if you're going for the first time, or maybe you've been as many times as I have but you haven't checked any of these out. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So number 1 is the Auberge de Cendrillon. Now I didn't discover the Auberge till 2013 for my 21st birthday, and that was my 4th time going to Disneyland Paris. And the Auberge de Cendrillon is translated to Cinderellas Restaurant, where you can go have lunch with the Disney princesses. Obviously Cinderella is always there, and there's other Disney princesses and sometimes princes for your enjoyment. So when I went for my 21st, I met Cinderella, I met Rapunzel and Flynn, and I met Snow White. And then when I went last October, I met Cinderella, Aurora, Rapunzel and Belle. So it could either be you know, 3 princesses and a prince, or 4 princesses in the case I had last year. So Auberge has a set menu. We do the Disney dining plan, we do the plus meal plan. Unfortunately the Auberge is extra. It's a certain amount of payment for an adult. I think it's around 50 something for an adult, and I want to say about 40 something for a child. I will have everything, all the details down below for you if you want to check all that out. It's a restaurant based in Fantasyland in the main Disneyland park, and I absolutely adore it. It's a set menu, like I said. You can choose, I think you can choose your starter and your main and your dessert in some cases. I know first time around we couldn't choose a dessert, but I'm pretty sure we chose our dessert last time. It's fantastic food. It is French cuisine. It is rich. It is amazing, and I love it. I love it so much. So definitely worth checking out. It is an extra expense unless you're on the premium meal plan, then it is included, and it's definitely worth checking out. Number 2 on my list is Phantom Manor. Now unfortunately Phantom Manor is closed at the moment till October, where it's going to reopen for Halloween, but it's definitely worth checking out. Now Phantom Manor, as I'm aware, as I've checked loads of different videos on the different haunted mansions, is different in itself. Just like Mystic Manor in Hong Kong, it has a different storyline. Now if you've seen the Haunted Mansion film, you'll know what I'm talking about, and Phantom Manor follows Edward Gracie, who hangs himself after he realises his love Elizabeth has died, and it just kind of reveals the story that way. I love Phantom Manor. I remember the first time I went on it was 2006 and I was petrified, but I've been going on it ever since, and I'm gutted it's closed and having a refurb, but I'm hoping when they open it up again they'll be doing The Nightmare Before Christmas at Halloween and Christmas time, fingers crossed. Number 3 on my list is a show. Now I don't really go to many shows when I'm in Disneyland. I like doing the rides, and more importantly I like doing the meet and greets, but there is one show that I did last October when I went with my family, and it was a hit all round, and that is Mickey and the Magician. Now you can find it on YouTube, but nothing beats seeing it in person. This is obviously in half French and half English, obviously because we're in Disneyland Paris, and it's based in Walt Disney Studios in the oh god, what is it? I can't remember what the theatre's called. That's really bad. I will try and look it up for you, and again, like I said, all the details will be down below. But Mickey and the Magician is about Mickey who wants to be a magician, and he kind of uses the magic wand, and everything kind of goes pear-shaped. You have visitors who are magic. You've got the genie, the fairy godmother, you've got Elsa and Rafiki. But it's definitely worth checking out. I absolutely loved it. I wanted to bawl my eyes out when Beast and Belle came on. It is worth a check out. I know it's not on at the moment, but it will be coming on later this year, as Disneyland Paris are extending their 25th anniversary. Again, I'll have all the details linked down below for you, so you can go check that out. But if you are in Disneyland Paris, I highly recommend going and see Mickey and the Magician. Number 4 is another attraction, and that is Princess Pavilion. You will find the Princess Pavilion in Fantasyland, right by It's a Small World, and by the old mill that leads down to Storybook Land, and it's opposite the Mad Hatter's Teacups. Now, the Princess Pavilion is where you go meet princesses. Now, there's 2 princesses, well, there used to be 2 princesses at a time. Now there's one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Now when I first did Princess Pavilion, I did it in 2013, and back then you didn't know which princesses were there. So I met with my sister, we met Cinderella, and then we met Ariel. When I went in 2015, it was a completely different system. You had to pick up a ticket and then go back at a certain time. My poor sister ended up standing up for about 3 hours trying to do this, and I love her so much for doing it. Again, then you didn't know who you were going to meet, and by some miracle I met Aurora, and it was the greatest day of my life. I was jumping up and down, I was screaming at her because I was so happy to meet her, but honestly it was the best surprise ever. And last year when we went in, I'll tell you what princesses are there, and there's usually a similar lot. You'll usually find Snow White, Aurora, Cinderella, Ariel, sometimes Rapunzel, and maybe on the odd chance there'll be Belle there. So last time we met Aurora and Snow White, we did that both on a Thursday. Now it's worth remembering, between 8:30 and 10:30 in the morning, you as a Disneyland Resort hotel guest have the main park, well both parks to yourself. There are only a selected rides open. It's worth checking out if you really want to do that. Now usually in the magic hours there's Peter Pan's Flight, Manhattan's Teacups, Dumbo and Princess Pavilion open at that time in the morning. Oh, and Carousel de Lancelot. So if you want to do any of those, recommend checking them out. Princess Pavilion can get queues up to 2 hours, so it's worth going early. I think me and Charlie queued 45 minutes to meet Aurora in the morning, and that's definitely quick compared to the 2.5 hours we've done before. But Princess Pavilion is a good way to meet the princesses. If you're on a budget and you don't want to do the auberge, I definitely recommend that. Disneyland Paris don't necessarily have the princesses scattered around for meet and greets, although they are at the moment, and I don't know why they are, because it's like I'm not there and I can't meet them, but usually they don't. Jasmine sometimes is in Agrabah, but other than that you don't really meet the princesses, so I highly recommend going to Princess Pavilion. Number 5 on my list, the last one, is actually in the Disney Village. Every Disneyland or Disney resort has a Disney Village of some kind. In Disneyland Paris it is called Disney Village, and it's just outside both the parks. My fifth and final favourite thing to do and top tip to do is the Disney Gallery. I love the Disney Gallery. You might think Disney Gallery, is it an art gallery? No, it's actually a shop where you can buy pictures, you can buy canvases, you can buy figurines, anything to do with art, anything of a higher end you can buy there. Now I say higher end, it doesn't necessarily mean higher budget. I got some amazing attraction posters there, a pack of 12 for 30 euros. It really is good value money. I showed those in my Disneyland Paris haul, which I'll leave a link down below for you if you haven't checked those out. Disney Gallery is fantastic. Not only does it have all these figurines and exclusive stuff that you don't necessarily find anywhere else in the park, it also has this massive diorama of Sleeping Beauty's castle at the back of it, so it's definitely worth checking out for that. And that is the end of my video. I'm sorry I've kind of rushed it a little. If I don't stop myself from talking, I will be talking for hours about these things. These are my 5 favourite things to do in Disneyland Paris. Honestly, I could have had a long list. It could have been 100 things I like to do in Disneyland Paris. There is so much that brings me joy there, and there is so much to see and do, but these are my top 5 that I recommend doing, because there's some things that you might not necessarily thought to do, and there's some that you've been wanting to do but you don't know if you want to check it out, and I'm hoping I've answered your questions. Description bar, all the details about the auberge, about the pavilion, the magic hours, and Mickey and the Magician for you. And that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for coming for the second installment of Disney Countdown, and I hope to see you guys next week.